Good morning, it's Jim from the Mavstar Observatory. I'm going to, in this video, answer a few important questions. We've got to remember, guys, that in the last month we've had probably another 1,000 people subscribe to this channel. Obviously they've got an interest in the topic that we deal with here. So before we get into that, as usual, big thanks to those few people that are supporting what we do. Now, one of these big questions that comes up time and time again in the comment section is, who's we at the Mavstar Observatory? Because I usually say, we're doing this and we're doing that. Well, there's a few people involved in it now. It never used to be. It used to be just me. I mean, if you've been following me, we've been doing this now 7 years, believe it or not. But recently, over probably the last 2.5 years, we've been a bit more proactive. We've actually built equipment to, proactively monitor things like the migrating magnetic North Pole. So, I just wanted to introduce you guys to who the other people are on our little team here. And before I do that, I just want to say thanks to Jeff for his recent data drop from Perth, Australia. It's now on the website, poleshiftnews.com, if you want to go over there and have a look at some of the global data that we collect. So, as you can see, we've got the TriMag here in the United Kingdom. This was a couple of years in the development, and we've had it running now for just a little over 2 years. What the TriMag does is monitor the progression of the magnetic North Pole migration over the Northern Hemisphere. We also here at the in the UK have a magnetosphere sensor which measures the magnetic field strength every 15 minutes. I forgot to mention that the TriMag takes a reading of the position of the magnetic North Pole every 3 seconds. So, we cover quite a high resolution of data. So, when we pull the data every 17th or thereabouts of every month, there's probably, 500,000 readings taken from the three magnetometers that make up the TriMag system. So over on M1, we've got JD in California, who's got one of our magnetometers, and we've also got in M2 Brad there. And what they're doing with their magnetometers is measuring the high intensity region, which is just above M1 and M2, as you can see, that darker red region. Why we put them in those positions in California and Kentucky was to, as the intensity, as we know, is shrinking off over the Canadian high intensity region, we're going to monitor how weak it gets over the period of time. We did send one out to M3, which was in India, and it was strange that when Ricky got in touch with me, he seemed very keen to get his hands on one of our magnetometers, but as soon as it was sent over there, he didn't respond to any more of our emails, and it was like it completely disappeared off the map. So I guess we lost M3, and we was trying to get one in Russia, but it was proving really hard to get one in that continent. So we left it for then. We did manage to get one in M4, which is in Hong Kong, China, and that's Tony over there. She monitors Hong Kong and the Siberian intensity over there. Now we know that is coming down towards the equatorial region, so we expect from Tony's magnetometer to show some slight increases in strength over the period of time. And then we've got over on M5 and M6, we've got Jeff, who just sent us a recent data drop, and we've got Richard. Jeff, sorry, is on the Perth coast. Richard on M6 is on the Gold Coast of Australia, so we're covering east and west, and again they're just above the high intensity region, because we know that this is moving up gradually towards the equatorial region. So we should expect from M5 and M6 to see an increase in magnetic field strength in that region as that high intensity region creeps towards our magnetometers that we've got there. Now, early January, we were hoping to get one in M8 or in South Africa, and we also want to put one right on the south coast, central Australia. So with these two that we're going to put out in January, we're going to put a bit of a different array of equipment together. We're going to send out a Geiger counter to detect background radiation. We're going to send out muon detectors, which we've recently built and added to our unit here in the UK. And with measuring the low intensity over Brazil, we should get a reading higher, I would think, of background radiation and also muon radiation. And with the one that we're going to put in central South Australia, we should get less background radiation and less muons. And the reason for that is, I believe, is because there is a lot of magnetic field strength pushing away this cosmic radiation that's inbound in our atmosphere right now. So we can get a lot of data from them two regions early on in January when we get that out. So there's going to be magnetometers going out to Brazil or South Africa and South Australia. There'll be Geiger counters, and there will also be muon detectors. The reason why we're going to put muon detectors out there is because cosmic radiation collides with our atmosphere, and as a byproduct splinters off into elementary particles like muons and neutrinos. Neutrinos are inert particles, they don't interact with nothing, but muons are ionizing particles, and they do interact. And it is widely talked about the effects of cosmic radiation, but not so much about muon radiation. In fact, if we look at the wave frequency of cosmic radiation, it's extended beyond gamma radiation and UV radiation. We know harmful those radiations can cause. So as you go smaller down the wavelength, then you would expect the radiation to increase. So we know that muons are beyond cosmic radiation, so we should expect that the waveform is a lot lower, and therefore the radiation from muons is more dangerous and harmful to biodiversity across the planet. Another thing we do over here in the UK is process all the data that comes from Australia, the United States and Hong Kong, and we put all that data in Excel, we process it, and then we put the graphs up on global data on the poleshiftnews.com website. So there's a lot of work that gets is involved in that. It's not just the amount of work that gets put into just processing it and handling all the data that's coming in now from different locations. And sometimes these can all arrive in one go, so there's quite a bit of work. You can easily spend a day just doing the processing and putting it all up onto the website. There's also the running of the website as well, so quite a lot of work gets put into just that alone. But on top of that, guys, as you know, I build all the electronics here. So I've built the TriMag, and I built the program that runs the TriMag, also the magnetometers that are out in the field around the world. I've programmed them as well, so I had to design the program to handle that. And also we was very lucky that MIT in the United States had put out a file on how to build their muon detectors, and we got hold of that share where we ordered 20 PCB boards to be made a couple of months ago, and then we ordered all the equipment, which involved around 15 different suppliers for all that equipment to get us the first of the 20 which will eventually be built of the muon detectors. And we can get them out in the field, but the first ones that are going to go out in the field are going to be in Brazil and South Australia to measure those two high and low intensities. So there's a lot of work that gets put into it, guys. It's easy to take it all for granted, and of course it's not just the time, it's also the money element. And it's a great thing that we've got some people supporting us. It's not a great amount of people. We've got nearly 28,000 subscribers now, and it is less than probably 300 people that support us from time to time. But what we're trying to do in general is just get an idea as to what we face with regards to the things that are changing on our planet, such as the jet streams, which in turn changes our climate, as you already know. And to get a grip on how much radiation is inbound in these regions. and also give us a time forecast as to when something is likely to dramatically change. Because over the last 30 years there has been some gradual changes, guys, on our planet. And you probably noticed yourself, the weather isn't predictable like it used to be. The seasons have changed, and as a result of that, it directly affects us, because any civilization that you go back into our history with, you will find that what kept these cities thriving was the agricultural production. And we live in no different times. Although we've got the technology, we might have GPS guiding tractors around fields, but if the climate isn't there to sustain the production of crops, then you're not going to get that production out of that field. And that's what we're starting to see. Probably around about 1,000, as I mentioned in a video, farms in the European Union are going offline every day. We're seeing the same effects over in the United States and in other parts of the world. It's not just crops, it's affecting feeds for animals. Recently in Australia, a particular farm sent all of its cattle, even its breeding stock, to the abattoir for slaughter because they couldn't get the water to these cows. So we have two different extremes as a result of the jet streams changing. We get droughts, floods, and then we have these Arctic climates creeping down like we're seeing recently over in the United States. So we cover quite a lot here, as well as all the other anomalies like earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, sunspots. And with the sunspots dropping off over the last 3 consecutive solar cycles, it's caused a problem with cosmic radiation. And with an Earth, our planet, going into a magnetic reversal, which is a very, very rare anomaly, in turn the weakened magnetosphere allows more cosmic radiation in, and this is what is creating more cloud, and in turn clogging up the jet streams. And as I've showed you guys before, we have interchange between polar jet streams and subtropical jet streams, both over northern and southern hemispheres of our planet. So we're covering quite a lot, and we're relaying it back to you guys. But we can only keep doing what we're doing as long as we get funding. And I've got to say this, guys, at this time of the year our funding levels drop probably 50%, and it becomes a really real struggle to just keep a steady momentum going forward, buying and purchasing equipment, building equipment, and getting it out in the field. So guys, just bear in mind that is probably one of our driest periods for funding over the next 3 months. And if you could support us during this period of time, it'd be greatly appreciated. And we can continue putting out the information where other organisations aren't really coming forward with that, despite the fact that us taxpayers have paid into these organisations to produce technologies and equipment such as the Swarm mission, but they failed to give us level 2 and above data on that. So we have to do what we have to do, guys. we're forced into a situation to put our magnetometers out in the field like we have, and do our own research, and that's the way we relay it back to you guys. So I do hope that you appreciate all the effort that goes in, and you appreciate the fact that all these people that are helping with these stations out around the world are giving up their free time for the benefit of others. And like I say, if we could just notch up the frequency of donations over the next 3 months, we can continue doing what we do. One thing I hope you appreciate, guys, is that we just don't talk all the time about such matters. We could easily dredge through the press releases on all what's going on around the world and deliver this farm today has gone offline, this farm's gone offline. We could put a map on there with lots of farms going offline. But more importantly for you guys, I think it's the fact that we can gather data on the most important aspect of what is creating all these changes. And at the end of the day, that is down to cosmic radiation, a grand solar minimum, and an Earth that is going through a rare anomaly, such as a magnetic reversal, as we are experiencing right now. And we shouldn't take it for granted. because there are some very serious implications with just the fact that our Earth is going through a magnetic reversal. If we lose our magnetosphere for good, then it's only a matter of time before the sun and its radiation strips away the upper atmosphere and then exposes the water to the same fate. And we could end up looking like our neighbouring planet. It's as simple as that, guys, and it has happened. You know, Mars lost its magnetosphere and then lost its upper atmosphere and then lost its liquid on its surface. We know that at one point it did have it, because when we look at the terrain on Mars, we can see all those little veins that run there, and that would have took tens of thousands of years to erode those little riverbeds that are now dry on that planet. So, you know, when planets do lose their magnetosphere, you know, it is spelling pretty much the end for that planet. And nothing in this world is guaranteed, guys. We don't know whether, you know, a prolonged period of time, whilst the magnetosphere is down during this magnetic reversal, which is probably on the cards to go through over the next 4 to 7 years, we don't know if we're going to get a new magnetosphere reform. We don't know if the poles are going to completely reverse. This is uncharted territory. There is no documented recordings of the last reversal, because simply we wasn't you know, technologically advanced to monitor these things at that point. And from what other scientists say, 780,000 years ago, there probably wasn't even Homo sapiens on the planet then. So, you know, guys, it's new territory, and the consequences of a planet going through a magnetic reversal are very serious. And we've heard this from, you know, organisations and scientists within those organisations like NASA come out and say, you know, we know that it can lead to a serious event, but because we're not sure whether it's going to or not, we're not going to come out and make that comment. But we have had the director at some point come out from NASA and tell people to prepare. So you ask the question, why would the director of NASA tell people to prepare for what exactly is he asking people to prepare for? Yeah, there you go, guys. So I'll leave it here. I hope you enjoy your weekend, guys. There's a link down there if you want to get involved in supporting what we do. You know, it's great. It's a crowd-funded observatory, and you know, we've put a lot of work into it. It'd be a shame to just end it here. You know, really, we need to be funded, and we need to be funded over this drier period of funds over the next 3 months. So, you know, I'll leave it with you guys to make that decision. As always, it's not mandatory, but you know, we really need the funds. Simple as that. Okay, guys, I'll catch up with you maybe tomorrow or over the next few days, and until then, I'll say what I usually do. Take care, have a great weekend, and bye for now.